Hello and welcome to another edition of News Blitzer Analysis. The decision by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to refrain from ordering an immediate attack on Pakistan following the April 22, 2025, terrorist attack in Pahalgam, which killed 26 people, has left both well-wishers and political opponents confused, leading them to question as to what Modi is really up to. After all, Modi has projected himself as a strong man, unleashing state excesses against political and ideological opponents in India. Modi had also earlier quickly ordered the attack on Balakot after the Pulwama terror attack in 2019, in which 54 Indian security forces were killed by alleged Pakistan-sponsored terrorists. So why is he now taking a back seat and passing the buck on to the defense forces instead of calling the shots himself? Based on the available information and broader geopolitical context, along with an explanation of why he appears to be passing responsibility to the military, here are 5 reasons why Modi in all likelihood has chosen this approach. Reason number 5. India has accused Pakistan of cross-border complicity in the attack, linking it to the Resistance Front, TRF, an alleged offshoot of the Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba. However, irrespective of the past pattern of terrorist attacks in India, no conclusive public evidence has been presented, while Pakistan has denied involvement, with TRF now reportedly retracting its initial claim of responsibility for the terror attack. Pakistan's offer to cooperate with a neutral investigation further complicates the narrative, as a premature strike without solid proof could undermine India's international credibility and raise questions. Rather, Modi's decision to delegate to the military reflects a need for more intelligence or a verified target, as a miscalculated strike could backfire diplomatically. This approach allows the military to conduct search and destroy operations in Kashmir or assess the feasibility of a cross-border strike, while Modi avoids the risk of acting on incomplete information and facing political consequences. But none of this can be accomplished without India providing evidence to the international community regarding Pakistan's role in the attack. Presenting a history of terror attacks from across the border is not sufficient to convince the international community, which sees issues on a case-by-case basis. Reason number 4. India's military is still undergoing modernization, and its capabilities may not be fully prepared for a significant cross-border operation. The 2019 Balakot crisis exposed vulnerabilities, such as the downing of an Indian jet and capture of an India Air Force pilot, prompting Modi to invest heavily in military upgrades. However, these efforts have not yet fully addressed gaps in India's ability to conduct precise, low-collateral strikes against Pakistan, which has a capable military and support from allies like China. Some Indian defense analysts too caution against armed action, noting India's lack of alliances and limitations in weaponry compared to Pakistan's potential coalition with China. By passing the decision to the military, Modi avoids committing to an operation that might expose these weaknesses, allowing the armed forces to determine whether a strike is feasible based on their operational readiness. With crucial state elections around the corner, Modi does not want to take any political risks. Reason number 3. The Pahalgam terror attack, targeting tourists in a brutal manner, has sparked widespread outrage in India, with candlelit processions in Kashmir and protests outside Pakistani diplomatic missions. Modi's government, which has built its image on pretenses of strong national security credentials, faces immense pressure to respond decisively. However, analysts note that Modi has historically been cautious about cross-border military actions, with no major operations in his 11-year tenure despite his strong rhetoric. This includes meekly bowing down to China, which has encroached over 4,000 square kilometers of Indian territory in Arunachal Pradesh. By granting the military complete operational freedom, Modi can hope to project strength to a domestic audience while deflecting blame if no action is taken or if an operation fails. This way, as is his demonstrated tact, Modi can take credit for successes while shifting responsibility to the military for any setbacks, preserving his political capital ahead of elections. Whether this bluff of Modi will work is another question altogether. Reason number 2. Unlike previous crises, such as the 2019 Balakot strike, where the US played the escalatory role, the current geopolitical environment offers limited external pressure or support for India to act militarily. The US is distracted, with no ambassadors appointed to India or Pakistan and no significant military presence in the region post-Afghanistan withdrawal. While world leaders have condemned the attack, there is little indication of active international backing for an Indian strike. Instead, there have been calls for restraint from figures like US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the UN. Modi's diplomatic efforts, such as briefing over 100 missions in Delhi, appear focused on building a case for action rather than securing explicit support, suggesting he is wary of acting unilaterally without global legitimacy. Economically and politically beleaguered, Modi cannot afford to go against world opinion. Delegating to the military allows Modi to buy time to gauge international reactions while avoiding direct responsibility for a potentially controversial strike. Reason number 1. The 2019 Balakot airstrike, conducted in response to another terror attack, saw Pakistan retaliate by downing an Indian jet and capturing a pilot, bringing the two countries close to a broader conflict. Analysts note that Pakistan's military doctrine of quid pro quo plus retaliation means any Indian strike would likely be met with a disproportionate response, increasing the chance of uncontrollable escalation. Both India and Pakistan are nuclear-armed nations, and any direct military action risks rapid escalation, potentially leading to catastrophic consequences. Modi's reluctance to order an immediate attack reflects a desire to avoid crossing the nuclear threshold, especially considering the warnings from the United Nations about the catastrophic consequences of a military confrontation. Out of his depth, by giving the military operational freedom, Modi shifts the burden of calibrating any response to the armed forces, who are better positioned to assess tactical risks and avoid actions that could spiral out of control. In the process, he also protects himself, as any failure by the army could be blamed on the army and not himself, even as he is busy campaigning for critical upcoming elections in the country. Consequently, after a decade-long run of fictitiously presenting himself as a strongman with no evidence of such strength seen in him outside of targeting political and ideological opponents, Modi is caught between the devil and the deep sea. If he orders an attack on Pakistan and the attack accomplishes very little, his image, which is already in the dumps, would move into the political sours. Alternately, if he does not order an attack, he stands to lose ground among his support base, which is baying for blood. Hence, to insulate himself from both reactions, Modi has passed the buck on to the defense forces, even though a war can be waged only under the direction of the president upon the advice of the PM and Council of Ministers. At the end of the day, it is all about political expediency and benefit, the death of innocent civilians be damned. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments box, and if haven't already, do subscribe to this channel for cutting-edge news reports, analysis and fearless opinion pieces on issues facing the world. Thank you for stopping by.